Going to look at President Nicolas Sarkozy. He's breaking his silence in the conservative paper Le Figaro, and Florence Villeminot is here to talk us through that.
That's right, Claire. He writes a very strongly worded letter in Le Figaro today. The title is What I Want to Say to the French People. It's a very long letter, so I've taken out some of the juiciest bits for you so you don't have to read it. Now, this is the first major intervention that he's given since he lost his try to be reelected in 2012. And he says he really hesitated for a long time before speaking out. But he says, it's my duty to break my silence. If I do so, it's because the sacred principles of our republic have been trampled with an as yet unknown violence and unprecedented lack of scruples. So in this letter, he responds to a series of corruption allegations that have plagued him since he left office. Now, he's always denied any wrongdoing, and in this letter, he says he wants to be treated like a normal French citizen. I have never asked to be above the law, but I certainly cannot accept to be below the law. So what he's responding to is also this phone tapping scandal that we've been hearing about. Investigative judges tapped his phone conversations with his lawyer because they were suspected of tampering with justice. Now, he likens this whole scandal to the film The Life of Others, that a famous film about the Stasi, so the East German secret police. So very strong words there. And he also talks about his political future, suggesting that any comeback isn't for any time soon. To quote the article, he says, "Today I have no desire whatsoever to get involved in the political life of our country."
It's all been brewing for quite a long time. He really had to come out at this point, didn't he? And a lot of the other papers are reacting to this open letter.
That's right. Let's start with Libération, the left-leaning paper, says that Sarkozy comes out with guns a-blazing and says that this letter is of a rare violence. So he's targeting not only the country's judges, the media, but especially the socialist government, because another thing in that letter is that he says it's ridiculous that the government said it wasn't aware that that phone tapping was going on. Now, the Huffington Post, the French version, also takes a look at this letter and takes a closer look at just what his strategy is here. And the Huffington Post says he really had to fire his guns in all directions to defend himself from all these attacks. And his strategy has three sides to it. First of all, he has to break the silence so he can be in control of the information, because so far there have only been leaks about just how he's reacting to all this. On top of that, he has to paint himself as a victim for his own party and use French people as a witness. And the third part of his strategy is to paint himself as a public defender to kind of try to keep his political rivals at bay. So according to the Huffington Post, what he's done in this very calculated letter is throw a grenade into the political sphere to kind of make it all about him. But the key question is, how is the public going to react to this? Is he going to be able to make gains in opinion polls?
Okay, stirring it up there, Nicolas Sarkozy. Let's stay with French politics, the upcoming municipal elections, round one this weekend.
That's right, at last. We've been hearing about these municipal elections for weeks, months, years, and at last they're here. La Croix de Christian paper calls it a test because of the first time that French voters are returning to the polling booth since the 2012 presidential election. So these are hotly anticipated municipal elections, but not everybody is excited. Polls expect there to be a record abstention rate. Up to 40% of people could just stay at home. Libération says that this could really be a trap, though, and that you can read that on the front page. Le piège, the trap. Now, according to Libération, the biggest abstention rate is going to be among socialist voters. They feel somewhat disappointed with the government, disillusioned with François Hollande. But this could really be disastrous, says Libération, because it could really play into the hands of the far right, the National Front Party. Now, in its editorial, Libération says socialist voters have a right to be disappointed in the government. Unemployment's high, purchasing power is low, times are tough, but these are local elections. These are not national elections, and it's pointless to punish the government by boycotting these elections because it'll make the left in general suffer and it'll play into the hands of the far right.
We'll have to wait and see what happens this weekend. And you're going to finish us off with a look at the Paris Book Fair.
That's right. It's the 34th Paris Book Fair. It's opening today. There's an article in Le Figaro that takes a closer look at best-selling authors. And this article can't get over the fact that these authors are paid better than sports stars. Now, this article talks about E.L. James, so the author of that best-selling series, 50 Shades of Grey. And it points out that in 2013, she pocketed $95 million, according to Forbes magazine. Quite far ahead of Tiger Woods. He only, quote, quote, made $56.2 million. Poor Tiger Woods.
Well, we all know what we need to be doing with our time, what we need to be writing. Florence Villeneuve, thank you very much, and we'll see you a little later. Quick break now, but stay with us. We'll be speaking with our correspondent in Beirut about the advances secured by Syrian government forces against rebels as the conflict, of course, continues there. That's coming right up. Stay with us.